Hello and welcome to Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. This is Mike1217 and I will be your host for this playthrough. And this project is going to be a lot of fun for me because I do indeed plan on this being a 100% run of the game, or I should say 103% run, technically. And it's going to be fun for me because I've never actually gotten 103% in this game. The best I think I've ever done is like 62% upon beating the main game. And that's pretty darn low. So, yeah, I'm quite excited to get started on this. So let's go on to our main select screen here. We're just kind of restarting, it looks like. And I did make my file already ahead of time, because you actually have to enter your name this time around for your to start your file, which is kind of interesting. Not really appropriate, because they never refer to you by your name in this. So right away, you get a glimpse of one of the many new changes that's been made to the series of this game, the overworld. I'll explain more on it once we get done talking to Wrinkly here. As you can see, Dixie Kong is the main Kong of this game, so they continue with the theme of having the sidekick from the previous game be the main Kong of the subsequent game. And there is our save screen right there. That's pretty much like everything that we need to collect throughout our game, pretty much. You can see there's a lot to this, and it doesn't really all make sense right now. In fact, I don't even know what some of this stuff means. Like, I'm gonna have to remember some of this stuff. Yeah, once again, I've never 100%ed this. I've never gotten very close. The key thing I need to mention is I've never played the Lost World levels in this game. I've seen them, and I know what they have to offer, but I've never actually played them. Now, before I move on, I'm going to kind of explain more about the overworld, just kind of introduce it. So yeah, obviously this is a lot different from the previous two games, in that you have a lot more freedom to move. It's more than just a level select screen. Like, it is an actual overworld, and I really like it. I love this change. It just makes it feel like the worlds are more connected, and it makes it feel like there's more of a purpose to what you're doing. Is that the right way to say it? Not really more of a purpose, but just it feels like it's more than just playing the levels. Like you're actually on an adventure with this game. So right here with Funky Kong, he's introducing us to the rather controversial sidekick of this game, Kiddy-Kong, and I will explain more about that once we actually get into gameplay. The core gameplay of the game, anyway. Right now, we're actually going to get a motorboat. So that's another new thing. We not only can we swim around, but we actually have a boat to move around with. So this may seem kind of pointless, but there will be more add-ons that we're going to have to this boat later. Let's just actually get into the main gameplay here. So it's still the same concept as the first two games. You have your worlds, you have your levels. The gameplay is still the same, the core gameplay. It's still a side-scrolling platformer. You can still switch between your Kongs and all that good stuff. They didn't drastically change it. It's just that the overworld got a major makeover, and there's a lot that you need to collect this time around. So Dixie, I'll explain her first. She really remains unchanged from DKC2. She still has her signature helicopter twirl. And I guess I can just go ahead and explain Kiddy right away. Now, like I said earlier, Kiddy is kind of controversial. And actually, we actually have to switch back to Dixie here. Because as you can see right there, there's our first bonus. And to get to it, you can see there's a crack above it. So, if we use Team Up, which is an ability that returns in this game, you have your Kong kind of ride on your back, you can see that Dixie's kind of struggling with Kiddy and his big fat ass on her shoulders. So when Dixie uses team up with Kiddy, it's not too effective, but if you do it like that, on a crack on the floor, you can break through the floor with Kiddy. And we can play our first bonus, it's collect the stars. The games, like the bonus games in this game, are pretty much all the same as DKC2. It's the same 3 variants, collect the stars, destroy them all, and find the token as DKC2. Like, those are all back, but there's also one more new variant that we are going to get introduced to in this level, I'm pretty sure, that we'll see in a bit. Now, another new twist on the bonuses in this game, or this isn't really a bonus, but it's a extra thing that we have to get. You see this Kremling here is holding a familiar DK coin, so we do indeed have to collect these again. There's 1 per level. But the way you have to collect the DK coin in this game is that you have to defeat this Kremling. Now, as you'll notice, as you kind of jump around him, he follows you, like, the way he's facing. He's always facing you. And the DK coin kind of acts as a shield. He's also wearing a helmet, so the only way to take him out is to hit him from behind. But you can't do it, like, by direct means. So what you have to do, we have this steel keg here, which we just lost it, but they'll always have it reappear for you. Just always look out for steel kegs to these guys. It's pretty much the only item that you're going to be using to take these guys out. But if we throw it up against the wall behind him, it will bounce back and hit him in the back, and we can take his DK coin. So throughout the game, you'll be finding that Kremling, whose name is Coin, by the way. K-O-I-N. Of course, they have to start with the K, not C. There's going to be one of those in each level, and you're going to have to take them out. And you'll see later on in the game, you'll have to be pretty creative in how you take them out. But for the most part, the method that I used right there, just by like simply throwing the steel keg on, like, against the wall behind him, simply doing that would usually be the way you take him out. And wow, I just got hit in the first level. Good job. At least it wasn't as bad as the first Donkey Kong Country, where I died on the first enemy. Here's our second bonus, and this is the new variant that I was talking about. Grab 15 bananas. So what's going to happen here is the bananas will just appear in kind of random places on the screen. Like, the locations that they appear on are preset, but the order that they appear in is randomized. Like, it's not the same order every time, so you can't just like memorize the pattern and do it the same way every time. Which is a very good design choice on a Rareware's part. That keeps this minigame from being too easy. And this is definitely, in my opinion, the green bananas variant is definitely the hardest variant of the minigames. Now here, this is a new animal buddy. This is kind of this game's version of Rambi, who actually, sadly, isn't in this game. This is Ellie the elephant, and if you hold down the Y button, you can suck in barrels like that. That's kind of her main use. Well, actually, that's not really her main use. She does have another use, but we're not going to see it for a while. But there's really not much. Well, yeah, they don't really give us much of a chance to use Ellie. It's just kind of like an introduction to her. Basically, we get rid of her right there. So at the end of the level here, this flag, that's end level. There's no like target or anything. You don't get any items from these like in DKC2. But whatever. So now we can move on to the next level. Now with telling if you have 100% in a level, you can see that the levels are marked by flags. And you see that yellow flag on there, that indicates that I got the DK coin. And the fact that the pink flag is waving, that indicates that I have all the bonuses. We might see the difference between a waving flag and a not waving flag. But also, I mean, they also have the exclamation point at the end of the level name as well. So that's, that's from the first two games, where they have the exclamation point at the end of the level name when you have all the bonuses. So I haven't had much of a chance to talk about Kiddy. I kind of got distracted by other things. So let's see if we can find Kiddy so I can finally talk about him and why he's so controversial. Here he is, right here. So Kiddy is controversial mostly because, this is just my opinion, this is why I think he's not really well, basically the reason why it's controversial is because he's just bad. That's what people say about him, is that he's bad. And I don't really think Kiddy's a bad Kong. I just think he's just highly outclassed by Dixie in every way. Dixie is definitely the quicker Kong, and that's Kiddy's main drawback, is that he's so slow. Like, he's so sluggish in the way he controls. He's even more sluggish than Donkey Kong was in the first game. And I noticed that he has a lot of trouble with jumping. Like, let's do a test here. Let's see how high they jump in relation to each other. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some kind of, like, something in the background to relate it with. Like this rope on this pole here, I guess. Like, you can just kind of see how high Kiddy jumps, and I think Dixie jumps a lot higher. At least it seems like it to me, anyway. Though Kiddy does have the advantage of being able to use team-up effectively, because again, like we saw in the first level, Dixie can't really do much when... Why am I not doing this correctly, though? Actually, I need to switch Kongs anyway for this. I'm being stupid. So we do actually have to throw Kiddy up onto this one, because you have to use Dixie's helicopter troll to get over here. And there's a 1-up and the first bonus of this level. And now collect the stars. And it tells you the number too, which is... Well, then again, it tells you the number at the top of the screen as well. So, just collect all the stars here. Nothing too hard. We will be noticing that the bonuses in this game are a lot harder than the first game. Like or the second game, I should say. DKC2. In DKC2, the bonuses were pretty pathetic for the most part, but in this game, they can be pretty challenging. Especially those banana ones, like I was saying earlier. But, yeah, for the most part, I just think Dixie just flat out outclasses Kiddy, just because she's quicker, and also she has that broken helicopter spin. So, yeah, I will admit that Dixie definitely just outclasses Kiddy a lot more than any of the Kongs outclassed each other in the first two games. So, for the most part, my strategy for playing through this game is I'm going to be leading with Kiddy, and I'll have Dixie in reserve for quote-unquote clutch situations where I can only take one hit before I die. So that's kind of the way I'm going to play it. So in a way, Kiddy's kind of a meat shield. But I don't really want to say that I hate Kiddy. Like, I really don't want to say that. Because, like, a lot of people just hate Kiddy. But I don't really, like, quote-unquote dislike the character. But I can definitely see why people don't like him. Just because he's so outclassed by Dixie. But that's okay. I'll be able to explain more about Kiddy later. He has a couple interesting quirks that he can make use of. I mean, for one thing, he has his strength, so he can take out tougher enemies, just like how Donkey Kong could in the first game. And he has his much superior team-up throw. So we'll be seeing a couple more new abilities that Kiddy has. So, I guess I can explain the levels themselves. The levels in this game, they seem to have more defined gimmicks, and I know everyone hates that G word, gimmicks, but they just seem more defined in what you can find in each level and what the main mechanic is. There's just a lot more, like, clear about what the main mechanic is. If you go down to the left, I was gonna say you should find a 2-up balloon, but actually we have coin to get here. So this is an example of how you have to be quote-unquote creative to get coin. You don't really have to be too creative to do this, but this time we have to open up this door and throw a keg up there. There we go. Yeah, so in case you couldn't tell by now, I haven't really explained the level at all, but the gimmick of this level is these doors that you open with these switches. A little bit late for that. We're almost at the end of the stage here. Now here, I'm gonna float down with Dixie because I know there's like a 2-up somewhere down here. I think you can just follow the trail of bananas to get to it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there it is. Okay. And of course, the balloons, the 1-up balloons, are shaped after Dixie's head. So that is all 100%ed. And yeah, with the flags, you know, they don't have the heads on the screen anymore for each level like they did in the first 2 games. So this time the flags indicate who beats the level. Like the pink flags are Dixie Kong, and the blue flags that we'll eventually see, maybe, will be Kiddy-ing. Now here, this is Wrinkly's save cave. This is of course where you go to save your game. So Wrinkly Kong saves pretty much the exact same purpose that she does the second game. So we'll go ahead and save. Might as well. And we are 4% done. Awesome. That's great. And there's really not much more. I don't think there's any, like, tips in this game like they have in the second game. Like with Cranky and Wrinkly, they had, like, tips that they gave out in the second game. So anyway, I guess this is a good spot to end. And next time we will continue. There's like what do you think we're gonna do next time? Just sit here in the water? Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this first episode of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace out, everyone.